Okay, go live.
And you're rolling.
Okay, call the meeting to order and roll call, please. Oh, wait a second. I just said that. So, Leah Spiegel's here. Jen Williams is here. Steve Clements is here. Tony Smith is absent, excused.
Yeah,
And
from Robert.
Robert Henderson may or may not be here. Okay, but we do have a
Most likely
quorum.
not.
Agenda approval. Do we have any changes to it?
Not seeing
Okay.
change.
Minutes from the last meeting.
Well, you need a motion and a second to
Motion.
approve
Motion
the
approved.
agenda.
Second?
Thank you.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. All right, now minutes. I didn't see
I
anything
didn't
on
see
here.
it either. Of course, I was Tuesday. It was informative.
This one's a little weird because Leah can't provide a motion or a second, so it'll be the chair will have to provide
Yep.
one of those.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from February 11th.
Second. All right, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Public comments, none. Old business, vice chair election. I thought we did that.
This was
No, you didn't read the
tabled.
minutes?
Yes, that's right, okay. So how many times
Can
have you
we-
been chair and vice chair?
Oh, that's
Just a
right.
couple times.
Well, Jen was just passed,
Yeah,
Mhm.
and we don't, I mean, Tony's not here.
right. Can we,
Let's,
yeah, okay.
we can table it again,
Or can we
Or
vote
just,
or?
I nominate Leah. You only need 3 to vote.
okay.
Oh,
Are you-
I just vote for myself?
Are you good with that?
Sure.
All right.
Thank
Okay.
you, Leah.
Make it Leah.
I make a motion. Do I need to, we need to make a motion, right?
I'll make it so.
Oh, okay.
I second it.
Yeah.
It's unanimous.
Thanks, Leah.
Yeah. Work plan.
So I haven't done much in the way of updating on the work plan because we still don't have a firm timeline for the grants, and that's what I'm kind of waiting on, because that will be the only real change to the work plan, is to factor in these grant project steps. And so that's still to do.
Okay. Which kind of handily moves into the next one, the IRA.
IRA grant. You wanna talk about that one, Stu, or?
Sure. IRA is the big one. That's the Inflation Reduction Act grant. IRA stands for that. So that money was passed from the federal government down to the state to provide local and nonprofit groups urban forestry support. So the good news was this grant was already executed by the feds of the
I
state
was
of
gonna
Oregon.
ask.
So they haven't unexecuted any grants that I know of. So this one's already signed and sealed. However, the state is still telling us to proceed with caution. They are proceeding as normal. We've had our first introductory meeting with the Oregon Department of Forestry staff, and we've had a follow-up meeting with another one of their staff with the financial audit stuff. So Teresa and I met with the main contact. Her name's Lila. And Lila's one of the community forester folks, I think, and
Community
Brittany's
assistance
one.
forester.
And she's a different one. Anyway, we had a call with her and her colleagues, and they all kind of went over the work plan with us and the details of the grant, and assured us that we're still moving forward. So that one's for the $363,000 that pays for an outreach coordinator for 3 years. It's a 3-year grant. It also pays for a canopy analysis in an underrepresented neighborhood as represented by their maps. And in our town, that's the north side of town generally. Then it also pays for obviously some trees and planting materials and inventory. And it also pays the full salary and benefits of the 3-year position. So as soon as we have an executed agreement with the state, which will be after we cross these T's and dot these I's with them and meet them, and we've turned in all of our homework, so we're just waiting on them to approve, and then we'll get a notice to proceed letter that will, as soon as we get that signed and executed, then we will start recruiting for the outreach coordinator. Teresa and I didn't feel comfortable recruiting
Yeah.
ahead of time
Yeah.
based on the uncertainty until we have that signed executed agreement.
Yeah.
And do we have a date for that, another meeting? We don't at this
We
point.
don't, but like I said, yeah, our homework is turned in, so it's up to them. We encourage them to expedite it so we can start recruiting sooner, and
Yeah.
I asked the question, I
All these
believe,
people
so
out
if we
there.
get our homework turned in sooner, can we be like closer to first in line? To which the answer was, yeah, we encourage you to turn it in, but no guarantees. So, we've done our part, we've had our 2 meetings with them, and the finance director participated in one with me, and the other one Teresa and I did, so
Will this show up in,
it will.
in the budget this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll see in the budget request, you'll see a position added under urban forestry, and then in grants and donations, you'll see all the rest of the revenue and expenditures.
Okay.
Well, a third of them, of course.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah, I was gonna say, they're not gonna give you the
Right.
full 33.6.
Right.
It's a reimbursement
Nice.
grant, so it's a, spend the money and turn
There
it back in.
there is the option to ask for money up front.
Right, we clarified that as well, which we will be doing.
Ask
So-
for the whole lump sum and then we,
No, just the first,
Not the
I think we
reimbursement.
checked like this fiscal year, we didn't have this in the budget, cause we didn't have it planned at the time, last year. So Heather, the finance director, was nervous about that amount of money
Mhm.
coming out of that fund when it's not budgeted without doing an amendment with council. So in order to make that happen, we're gonna ask for the first few months up front until June 30th. And then after that, we'll just go with reimbursement,
okay.
so.
And the only other thing I was gonna mention on that is, Stu mentioned the canopy analysis, and in our grant proposal, we had said that we were gonna contract with Planet Geo to do our canopy analysis. There is, coming online, a canopy analysis through Planet Geo for the whole state. And so there is, depending on the timing, there is the possibility that we would get that for free,
Cause it's already done.
already done.
How much
I
would be
don't-
a lot for that?
The trick would be, I think it was 25,000, something
Wow.
like that.
Ish, yeah.
The trick would be if it was at the same level
Right.
as what we had contracted for, and if we felt it was enough.
Right. It's good enough.
So if we did feel like, yep, it's gonna come online, it's gonna get us what we need when we need it, then I was thinking of going to Lila and asking her if we could tweak the proposal and saying, okay, since the state's gonna give us our canopy analysis, could we use that contracted money to do an on-site inventory of planting locations
Hmm.
in the project areas? So,
Cool.
but I don't know if that's a no or a go or a no,
So
but,
that would identify places where trees could go.
which we don't have in our inventory, and is a pretty common thing
Yeah.
actually to have in an
Uh-huh.
inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That'd be nice, I mean, could we do it for the amount that we had budgeted for the canopy analysis?
Probably, yeah.
25,000?
Yeah, because the canopy analysis included not only the nuts and bolts of actually doing it, but also reports to us as to how to use that information and all that good stuff. So yeah, it would, I think it could be done, because it wouldn't be for the whole city, it would only
Right.
be for the project
Right,
areas.
right.
Right.
Target
Yeah.
area, yeah.
Yeah, I would think you could
Yeah.
do that, I don't know how it
Yeah.
done, but.
So
I think we
maybe,
could do, I feel like we could do an up to amount, like if we had
Yeah.
25,000, we could tell the contractor,
Right.
up to 25,000, give us the work of
Yeah.
up to 25,000
Yeah.
and get
Mhm.
98% of it done, or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and then,
Yeah.
the other weird thing about this grant is it was originally projected to start in January, so the budget started in January, which obviously they were slow and didn't award us until February, I think. And then we're not gonna start till, I don't know, May at this rate. So we're gonna shift everything, slide it into 2028
yeah,
Cool.
instead of like January of 28, it'll be, May
Mm-hmm.
of 28 or whatever it is.
so, that's well beyond your retirement period, which bums
What?
me out, but
I know.
So we hire a coordinator for this. You leave in the meantime. The person that we've hired as coordinator ascends,
Could possibly.
could possibly ascend. Okay, if they did, would that then open up for a replacement coordinator?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, so we either, backfill that position or hire someone else for the urban forestry position.
Yeah,
And you're
the-
here through December now?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
The interesting news is there are United States Forest Service people out of work.
Oh.
So
unfortunately,
we have maybe bigger pool than we think we did before,
yeah,
potentially.
yeah.
Don't know. I know I have one that's called me today. And was like,
Aw.
is that job open yet? So
Yeah.
Wow, yeah,
there are some that are probably maybe qualified to do this.
yes,
Teresa made the point that sometimes an outreach coordinator, it has a different skill set than an urban forester.
right.
Definitely,
So
yeah.
you have, I mean, it's possible.
Although Teresa could be both.
Well, that's the rare Teresa. right?
yes,
Well,
So-
I think,
Or if
I
somebody's
actually
interested-
think most urban forestry type folks go,
Are good.
are good.
But
with
not
it.
necessarily
But
the
not
other way
it-
around.
Yeah,
Right.
Outreach people aren't necessarily urban
Right.
foresters.
Yes.
right,
Right.
right.
So we'll see how our recruitment goes, but we've still got to wait for an
you gotta wait for the
executed
state.
agreement.
Right.
All right, anything else on the IRA grant? Questions? All right, urban forestry budget,
I just gave my numbers to Stu today. The main difference was we bumped up the, training and travel budget in thinking that maybe the new person is gonna need some extra stuff. And then we bumped up the ag court line to request the maintenance, money for the parks rotation.
Oh, right.
And I think that was really the only differences.
If that's not an increase, that's just a move from parks to urban forestry.
Yeah.
So the parks one went down, urban forestry went up. It's different rates because the parks budget's more complex than that, so it doesn't exactly match. That might be a question we get at the budget hearings, but it's close.
Overall, I think, other than that, the budget's pretty much the same.
any pushback from Robert on the suggested changes?
We haven't had those meetings yet. They
Okay.
happen April
April
Okay,
2nd,
10th-ish, second,
Yeah.
Okay.
whatever I said.
3rd.
if it's just moving from one column to the next, then
Yeah.
it's probably not gonna be an issue,
Right.
as long as there's no increase.
The only confusing part is it's under two different lines, like in forestry, it's ag court, in parks, it's facility maintenance and repair, so it's a little hard to articulate that to a budget
Yeah.
committee, but we'll see if that question comes up or not.
Yeah.
And urban forester would be the one doing the work in the parks rather than the parks maintenance folks.
Well, Parks haven't
It's-
ever done it, so.
It's, the primary purpose is to earmark that money just for trees,
Right.
because in parks it gets lost.
Yeah,
Because they'll spend it and then be like, oh, Teresa will be like, hey, remember the trees? Oh, shoot,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Shoot, we had
Okay,
broken
yeah.
pipes.
so when we get to budget hearings, that kind of thing would be helpful to know.
Are
So
you on the
that
budget committee?
I am.
Ah, okay.
He'll be the chair,
Ah.
possibly.
It'll make like the 26th straight budget
Yeah.
hearing
On a
I've been
roll.
on. Oh yeah, man, I'm going for
Wow.
30.
Nice.
Going for
We're glad
30.
you're there, Steve.
All right. Any other questions or any other comments on the budget? Good. Okay. The CGI grant.
So we were awarded the Community Green Infrastructure Grant for the Island Avenue project.
Great.
And that, I circled the amount here somewhere. So it's $79,830.
Oh,
And that will
Good
be for, site prep and tree planting on the Island Avenue
Nice.
Greenway.
and now
And so that's also ODF money that they already
No,
have?
that is through the, land what is it, Stu?
LCDG.
Yep,
Oh.
LCD.
LCD,
Yep.
yeah, the land development,
Conservation.
land
LDC.
conservation.
or other.
LC,
Yeah,
yeah.
Department of
Conser-
Land Conservation.
Yes.
And development.
And development.
Yeah.
LCDC.
So yeah, so that's a different pot of money.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be nice every time I drive by Ford Garage with those lights, I'm like, oh, these
So
poor
there-
people.
Yeah.
So there, if the money's been granted, are we in the same sort of process?
Holding patterns. that-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't have a signed agreement, and
Yeah.
you know, and I haven't even heard anything from that. The only thing I heard from them was, if you can bump your project out, because we've got a lot of these to go through. That's the
Yeah,
only
the
thing I
email
heard.
was something like, you've been awarded the funding,
Mhm.
we have a lot of them to administer, so we're gonna be really far behind. Please be patient, and if you can move your timeline, ours will be in the fall, of course, to plant.
Right.
And if they're gonna move it to fall of 26, that's fine, but I really don't wanna do spring of 26,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because of the viability.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's 40 mature mix of natives
Ponderosa
and
pine and some deciduous trees, probably elms.
yeah, and that also includes the contractor dirt moving,
Mhm.
mulch installation,
Nice.
etc. So
Yeah, yeah.
all that money
That's
is
the
flowing.
biggest cost, is
Yeah.
the site prep.
Yeah, I meant,
And
yeah.
that's-
Getting
that's
holes dug and
bad.
all of that is,
Well, and
or
just
just getting it.
some fill and then
Yeah.
some grading.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually we do all that in house, so it'd be great to hire somebody to do that. Just
So,
get it
so from where to where, remind me where to where on Iron
Oh,
Dad?
so
There's a
there's a
picture.
picture, yeah, there you go. So let's see, so
Is this
this,
trailer park?
yep, that's
Uh-huh.
Sacagawea, so it's the whole frontage of the
Oh, nice.
Sacagawea.
Oh, yeah, 'cause that's the strip that nothing's there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's that street right there?
That's
Where
May
it
Lane?
starts?
Yeah,
Is that
that's,
Main Lane?
that's where Main
So that's where
Lane-
the RNC, you turn into RNC,
Mhm.
okay,
Yep.
so it's from there.
Yep.
It's called Riddle Road right there.
Oh, Riddle
Yeah,
Road.
Riddle
Yeah.
Road.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
May Lane is,
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns into May Lane.
okay.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, and so
excellent.
we thought this was a good kind of phase one, because when you get to here, the ditch gets really
Oh, right.
deep. So this will be relatively,
So they're gonna bring this up to level?
yeah, well, not
Oh,
level, so
yeah,
if you,
it's gonna
if you
be-
drive out there and you see this stretch before this pile of sod,
Yeah,
where it just kind of goes like this,
yeah.
that's what I'm shooting for, just so that the mulch will stay in place.
Okay.
And the rain and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It serves as sort of a bioswale kind of thing, so.
Yeah, it'll still serve as a bioswale,
Right.
so.
Which is good, because
Yeah, it
then
is
there'll
good.
be some watering
Yeah.
This
depending
one
on
was
the warmth.
highly competitive.
Oh.
Teresa killed this one because
Wow.
this was rare. This was a huge victory, even though it's
Oh.
not the dollars like the other one. This one was super ultra competitive.
Cool.
It makes me
Nice,
think of like it's kind
nice.
of underserved.
Yeah,
That's
Area,
exactly-
too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
And-
manufactured home parks were in the criteria.
Oh,
Was
cool.
one
So
of the
we
possibles.
Put
Yeah.
that in the
yeah.
application.
Well, and it's such a visible.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I
such a
know.
visible place. I mean, small sign at the beginning here that says this project was funded by is a good kudo to
It's-
whoever gave the money.
She wrote a really strong application, and it was.
This one was
the
much
feedback.
easier than that.
Pretty awesome.
Much more in my
Yeah.
comfort zone.
So
That's for
when-
going
what's
out
the-
retired on duty.
When are you
She's going out
trying
full
to,
bore.
or you're going for planting? Is it
I
in the
would
fall?
expect nothing
Yeah,
less.
and it, like Stu says, it kind of depends on when the money comes through.
Yeah.
If we can get this going, then yes, I'm hoping that we can start the groundwork and then
Mhm.
planting in the fall. That's,
Right.
I'm working on sourcing trees right now, and that's,
Oh, yeah.
it's, yeah.
It's a
Sad.
challenge.
We may wind up with smaller trees than what I was hoping.
Oh, it's sad to see what Grandscapes has become.
Oh, yeah.
It's just storage.
Yes.
Storage. It's,
Yes,
I think of all those trees that were in there. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, they were small. And
yeah, and
everything,
even
but
the
all
one
those
over
trees-
on Walton is not here anymore.
No.
And
Yeah.
try to Walmart has crappy selection.
Yeah, but I was just thinking it being replaced with all that.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
well, that's
Metal.
kind of off
Yeah.
topic, but yeah, that's why we want to incorporate this planting on private property
yes.
policy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So-
Okay, any other
Yes,
questions on
definitely.
CGI, which is computer graphics interface? That's the way my brain thinks.
Community green infrastructure.
Poster contest.
So I think I wrapped up the classroom visits today. I
Oh, wow.
did not hear back. I initially heard from Greenwood 5th grade and then radio silence. So
Did you do 4th grade with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. But this year they actually responded to my invitation, and so I thought, oh, okay, but then we never did get anything scheduled. But I visited all the other 4th and 5th grade classes. The kids were really enthusiastic about the presentation this year. They were really engaged, so that was nice. Yeah, so they have until March 21 to get the posters done. I'll pick them up that Friday before spring break, and then hopefully you guys, somewhere in that time between Friday the 21st and April 1, you'll have a chance to get in here and check them out.
Theme.
Yeah.
Trees around the world.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, the presentation, you know, of course, it starts out with my usual spiel: why we have trees, what they do, why they're important, my standards, and then then went into, I picked 8 really awesome trees from all around the world
Wow.
with a few, fun facts along with it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Did you do a banyan tree?
did a banyan
All
tree.
right.
Did the great banyan tree of Kolkata.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Monkey puzzle tree?
Cool.
I did not,
Not
do
do-
them. I had so many trees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I had to cut them
Right.
down so I was trying to kind of get around the world
Yeah.
different ecosystems
Yeah.
types and different why these trees were
Yeah.
important for these
yeah.
areas. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was
cool.
really fun.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, cool.
And what's really cool is the technology. When I first started doing this, it was overhead projector.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now I send them my link to my Google Drive.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yep.
Wow.
Click, 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 click. Hey,
Yeah.
look at that. I don't have to
Yeah,
put it on a
it's
thumb
amazing.
drive.
Yeah.
I don't have to put it on acetate overlays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
All right, anything else on poster? So we need to be in here sometime between Friday, March 21st, and looks like Tuesday, April 1st.
Yeah,
So that's
Yeah.
spring break time.
spring break time and a little. So,
Yeah, and
And if you want to just, I'm here anyway weekdays, but if you need to come in on the weekend, just let me know and I can pop in and unlock.
and remind me, do we have like criteria there, or do we just make
Oh,
up our own?
excuse me.
No.
So there are some rules. They need to have the title.
Yep.
Trees around the world. Theoretically, spelling should count.
Yes.
They need to have their first name, last name, and teacher's name on the poster.
Okay.
And the poster should be related to the contest theme. And, basically, like I said, what we talked about was the importance of trees for people all around the world, so it's pretty broad.
Mhm.
So,
What was another tree?
so we started off with the Coast Redwood, world's tallest tree.
Nice. Yeah.
Then we went to the tree with the widest trunk, which is the tree of Tool in Osaka, Mexico.
Oh.
And then
That's cool.
we went, and then the banyan, the biggest canopy. Then one of the world's rarest trees, the dragon blood. And then the fastest growing, the kapok. And then
That's a good idea.
the one most common, the mangrove.
Oh.
And then
That's the most mangrove is most.
most commonly distributed
Yeah.
worldwide.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I didn't either.
And then we finished up, I think, I don't know how, it was 8. I know the last one was a ginkgo,
Yeah.
and I finished up with a plug for peace tree. So,
And of course, you had photographs of each one of those.
yeah.
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 I know.
Yeah, it was
The
a
pictures.
nice presentation because I started out with a slide of the globe and where it was in the world
Right.
and gave them a chance to think about it, and almost every class got redwood, and a few of them got a few of the others here and there. But yeah, it was good. The kids were really engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you tell them that ginkgo stinks if you crush the fruit?
I didn't get into
Oh
that.
man, it's
Because these kids, man, I tell the
Yeah.
teachers, okay, my presentation's 15 minutes, but depending on class participation,
Yeah.
it could be up to a half an hour. And so I
They
mean, I have
start
to
asking questions. Yeah.
and commenting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in there. I've
Right,
seen that. It's
right.
in my backyard.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
pretty fun.
Fun.
Cool. Leads us nicely into Arbor Day Field Day.
So the field day will be April 25th. That's National Arbor Day.
And I will be gone.
Yeah. See, I told you, Stu. I remember.
I'm gonna be in
that.
Switzerland.
That's the one.
Fun. I did speak with, let me remember her name, Doreen Kimball, who did the tree tapping presentation at the library and said she would be happy to come and do
Oh, cool.
a station on tree
yeah.
tapping. So that's, and then of course we'll do some
Cool.
sort of tree planting. We may, because her presentation can be quite long,
Right.
we could think about cutting the number of stations and just giving more time. So like more time planting trees, more time seeing the tree tapping. The downside is you're working with a bigger group of kids.
Yeah.
Where are you going to do this?
Probably Riverside again, just
okay.
because our other parks are pretty limited on spaces to plant trees.
Yeah. And I asked you for that list of what you had done in the past, and recognize that sometimes things get repeated.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed to me that what would be a good part of this, if you hadn't if you haven't got it planned out completely, is if,
No, I don't.
if we have tree identification for trees that are not necessarily native here, we can say, okay, the trees from around the world, you know, this tree doesn't grow here naturally, it's been planted, but it grows here because where it is natural, has similar climate, or you could talk about,
I really like that idea because we could wrap the peace tree that's planted out there into that.
yes,
So yeah, some kind of tree walk,
yeah,
tree ID.
tree walk, and go,
Yeah.
and with the main point of saying, okay, this is a Norway maple, and it doesn't grow here naturally, it grows really well here, but it has to be planted, you would find this growing natively in
Right.
Europe, right, or Northern Europe, and
Yeah.
well, gee, Northern
No, I
Europe
think
is
it-
kind of like here, right, it has the same kind of hot summers and cold winters, so, Norway spruce, same thing, and I think there's enough trees in Riverside Park that,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, maples.
Oh, yeah.
right, and then you could go along the river, oh, we've got black cottonwood, right?
Are they not native?
Yeah, they are.
That's what I thought.
But they grow here native, and you can see them up and down the Grand Line, and you can see them all the way down into Hell's Canyon, and you know, you can see them over to, you know.
Right, so that gives us a good solid 3 things: tree planting, tree tapping, tree walk. And then I'll, Doreen was gonna get back to me with what she felt was absolutely what she needed for a time frame, and I told her I'd work from that.
And how long are the kids there? 3 hours? 2 hours?
Couple hours,
hours.
yeah, from like
Morning shift,
morning
afternoon
shift, afternoon shift.
Yeah,
yeah.
so if you had,
2.5
if you had 4 stations,
Yeah,
you could do.
Four's gonna be too many.
She's
'cause
thinking
she's
three,
gonna take-
3
She's
stations.
gonna take longer time. than
Okay.
one.
so
Okay.
she's gonna
Passing
get back to
time.
me next week
Okay.
and let me know, what she thought, and I told her we could be
How-
flexible and reduce the number of
However,
stations.
One thing you could do, you could call it 3 stations, but if the tree ID wasn't gonna take as long as the other 2, you could do the games with that one, right?
Yes.
So it'd
Right.
be 1 station, but there'd be a couple of components.
Right,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
games are always nice, cause it gives
Just
the
gives them
kids.
an
Yeah.
energy break.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of giving them more time to plant trees
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
because it's.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it takes a bit, but you could take
Yeah.
the tree ID thing and break it up and make a game
Yeah,
out of
that
it.
could work.
Yeah.
Make some games.
So
in
the
it.
logistically, the hard thing will be the planting the trees, because where we have space for trees is the greenway, which takes a hike.
Mhm.
The one thing I was thinking, Stu, is all those junipers that die,
Yeah,
if we wanted to get those out.
yeah, that'd be
and
closer.
that would be much closer.
Were they planted?
They were, and they were huge, and they were beautiful, and the only thing I can think of it was that heat dome.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
they just dried out.
Yeah.
But why would they dry out their juniper?
Well, there's junipers died around John Day.
Did they?
Yeah,
They just didn't have the access to moisture.
yeah.
That thing just toasted everything. That
Right.
heat
That, I mean, because there was nothing wrong with them. That's the
Right.
only thing I can think of.
Unless they planted them with the. You know.
No, we planted
Oh,
it.
we planted them. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Give me a second.
They're
I'm just-
right next to
one.
neighbors, maybe neighbors did something.
I know, that's what,
Yeah,
I
well,
hate to
some
think
of
of
them
that.
still look great.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them are
Sure.
dead. Some of them are gonna be
Some
dead.
of them are dying, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a
That's a
possibility.
good spot too. We just need to, get more trees out there.
So we'll meet again next month before to get the finalized.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anything else on Arbor Day, Field Day?
you might wanna ask the landowners that are nearby those dead junipers if they have a problem with us planting new trees, and just to see what they say. Cause if they say something like,
Who is that?
I
That's
hate
not,
trees.
that's not
Those
the-
were the nice people, so I don't
Okay.
think that would be
Okay.
an issue.
well, good, I hope
Yeah.
not.
I don't know if it's the same owners or not though.
They're
Oh.
they're
Some of those
clo-
have sold.
so you're talking about trees that are closer to the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Along that, well, it all has chain link fence.
Yeah. And there seems like there's some places along the riverside too that trees could
Yeah,
gather.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's an option too, we could plant on both sides.
Yeah.
The nice thing about that is, if we want to, we can stick natives in out there, and they're
Yeah.
small, they're easy for the kids
Yeah.
to handle.
Yeah.
So-
Cool. Any other questions or comments on Field Day? All right. Spring tree planting. I'm gonna back up real quick.
Mhm.
How much help do you need from us on that Field Day?
As much as you guys wanna
Okay.
give.
I can be there.
I'm gonna be coming back the day before, but I think I can be
I'm
here.
gonna look
by
at it,
9.
make sure I got
That
it.
would be awesome, and I'll check with Tony
Yeah.
too.
She usually
And
likes doing
wants
that.
Robert wants to participate.
Robert
too.
likes to participate too, so yeah, that'd be great, cause I never say no to help.
Okay, and it's gonna be from when to when?
So
9 to 2 or
8:30 to
something?
2:30-ish,
Okay.
yeah.
I
The
just
other
want,
thing we need help cracking the code on is if we have kids transporting, do you have ideas on how to get kids from the main park down to the end of the trail?
Well, if we can do the Juniper area, I think a walk is easily
Right, but
feasible.
that won't take there's not
All
a
of
ton
them.
of space there.
Well,
All of them.
we'll see, yeah,
It's true.
yeah, let me
We'll see.
check that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, going forward, like for
Right.
years future,
Yeah.
yeah. And then, who knows, maybe the new person will have a whole different idea for Arbor Day.
all right, Riverside
Just
Park,
Just let the
right?
kids
Make
run
'em
down
hike,
there.
Yeah, just make them hike.
Well, we
Yeah,
did
that's
last
not
year.
bad.
You know?
We did
If
last
you have
year.
more time.
Mm-hmm,
for
yeah,
it.
so that's an option.
It works for 95%, and then there's the two
Right.
that are
Well, with the amount of time that, we're talking 40 minutes as much as that.
Yeah.
It does take
Right.
5 minutes to walk
Yeah.
over it, even
Right.
the slow ones,
Right.
right? So, I think we'd be good. Tree planting.
Okay, so that's set for the first Saturday in May. And it'll just be our standard 9 to noon. I did get an email from, what is it?
May 3rd.
First Saturday in May. That's the 3rd.
He works at one of the insurance places. He's in the Rotary. And they were trying to coordinate some Earth Day stuff and wanted to know when our tree planting day was. And I said, well, we bumped it out till May. But he said that they're hopefully still going to participate. So
Cool.
maybe we'll get some Rotary folks for our spring tree planting day. And
Till
my
about noon, is that what you're saying?
granddaughter, she
Yeah.
talked with the folks at the high school and said, because they have a community service component that they have to do, and so she gave them all my information about that. And so maybe we'll get some high school kids to come and participate.
Last year there were a couple of teenage kind of boys walking around, and they were helping. They were
Yep.
in there, and I said, "So what do you guys do? Are you from high school?" "Oh no, we just wanted to
No,
plant
they
trees."
were a little older than
Yeah,
high school.
like
Yeah.
late teens or maybe even early 20s.
Yep.
They all look young to me anymore.
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry.
right.
And they were just there.
And we've had that. We've had
I don't know. Sometimes.
sometimes from
Yeah,
the
that's
middle
cool.
school, we've had some kids just show up
Mhm.
because their teachers have said, "Hey, this is happening this day."
Mhm.
Okay, I got that on my calendar.
Okay.
Anything else?
Not right now that
Okay.
I think of.
Grand Run Hospital parking.
Well, I left that on there because I want to let you know that I called the lady whose number I was given, who would be the contact for facility stuff. I left a message. I have not heard back from her. I did go up there and look. So I don't know what the long-term plan is for that space, but I'll keep
Cool.
reminding them that we would like to be involved. The other thing too is that, so here's Sunset, and here's the Grand Ron parking, and then here is the playground.
Yeah.
Right.
And there are no trees here.
Mm.
So I was thinking about getting a hold of the school district too, because there's
They owe
boatloads,
us. Oh, yeah, there's
boatloads of
plenty.
grant money.
They
for,
owe us.
playgrounds.
They do.
Yeah.
They owe us.
Oh, and
that
then I
is
did the other
good.
thing. That's the other thing I forgot to put on there. I
Yeah.
meant to put LMS parking on there too. Sorry. I did go up there and take a look, and there is lots of space west of, just above the parking lot,
Mhm.
and to the south where you could put trees along there. It's not going to meet our hope that we can shade the parking lot, but it would be.
Okay.
So I'm gonna talk with LeGrand School District about both
Great.
those sites.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, that would be really good.
So you're still waiting. You're still waiting to hear from GRH.
Yeah, I have heard boo from them, but
Yeah.
I'll call again.
And you're gonna talk.
And I
to,
haven't talked with Brad yet, but I will.
Okay. And you're gonna talk to LHS about other trees planting.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions on either one of those things? All right. New business. Oregon Tree City of the Year, April City Council meeting.
So LeGrand is Oregon Tree City up
Ooh.
here.
Is that
Wow.
the first time?
Nope, we
No.
had
Yeah.
one in
Yeah.
like 1990
Oh, wow.
something. So
Okay.
yeah, this is an award that's given by the Oregon Department of Forestry,
Mm-hmm.
and so she announced it at our OCT board meeting that I just went to last week. So that's exciting.
Did you know you were?
No, I
Yeah.
did.
Oh,
Well,
cool.
I kind of sort of did because I sit on the awards committee, and I had emailed Brittany and said, "Hey, the committee's making our final recommendations for the board on these awards. Can you let me know who will or will not be Tree City?" And then I gave her our list of affiliated cities because we don't like to give double awards,
Right.
you know. And she goes, "Well, I wasn't going to tell you, but."
Cool.
Yay, this is very exciting.
Yeah. Nice.
April council meeting
Congratulations.
is,
It's that first Wednesday in April, and I did call City Hall and got it on the agenda. And so I talked with Brittany, because
that's
Brittany...
the second.
Second. Brittany is the one who will be doing the awards presentation, and so I think what her schedule is to Zoom in to the city council meeting so she can make that announcement to city council, but then she also wants to come to our Arbor Day event on the 25th and be there in person. So that's still a little bit up in the air.
Did part of it have to do with getting those great grants?
Yeah, you can. I'll forward you her email, and then you guys can read what they said.
Nice.
I think I might try to go to that meeting, just
The
because
council meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
What time is it?
council meeting starts, all council meetings start at 6.
Okay.
You'd have to see where on the agenda. My guess
We're
is it
always
would be,
first.
yeah, right up in front. Typically they'll
So
do,
people can leave.
you know, public announcements or city recognition stuff.
Yeah,
Right
we're
after-
usually really
right
close
after.
to first.
Okay.
Minutes approval and you know, so, which, you know, that's why this looks so familiar. This is-
Right, same agenda.
It's the same kind of structure.
Yep.
All right. Anything else on being yay?
Yeah.
Tree City of
I
the
think
Year.
that was it for that.
Okay.
My goodness.
Staff
Good
reports.
last year.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, pat on the back.
It's been,
That is
it's
nice.
been busy, that's for sure. Yeah.
And if somebody doesn't mention that, I'm going to stand up and say, and I want to make a note.
Well, don't embarrass me, I'll get all red and sweaty.
Just don't, you know, you can cry and that might feel you better. But... All right, staff report, urban forester.
Okay, so I sent you guys my staff report. I think we talked about most everything that was in here. I'm just trying to see if there's anything I've been working on. No, I think that pretty much covers what I've been doing.
Okay. Do we have any questions for Teresa? Can I look real quick?
Sure.
I looked it over, but I don't remember.
What are these books?
Oh, that is for my tree education.
Okay. I will wait then.
Patience, Padawan.
Yeah, pretty much, and then of course, since we got the notification that we are getting that grant, I've been spending some time trying to source some bundles of pine.
They were taking a tree down on 4th today.
Yeah.
It looked like an old, either silver maple or a Norway maple.
There's 3 of them. It's right in front of like the old Orange Rhino place.
Oh, yes, that one did have a permit,
Okay.
just the one in the middle.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
other 2 will stay.
The other
Yeah,
two
they
will
were
stay.
they were doing pretty
Yep.
good. Gentlemen, they
Yep.
were holding on to the trunk with some type of gripper. I was like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, the one in the middle had some condition issues, and they felt like they were. I put them off a long time, about 5 years. They've been wanting to take those trees out.
Do they
but
want to take the other ones out too?
Not right now, and I said no anyway. So for now, we'll have the 2 trees.
Seems like it's kind of tight in there, guy.
It's
The
tight.
Replacement may not be.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what I said. I said they're really. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't put another tree back in there unless they wanted to come in with some kind of small.
Yeah,
It'll
something.
probably be
Fine.
quite
Yeah.
shaded.
Yeah.
Might
Yeah.
not grow well.
Yeah, it'd have to be shade tolerant
Yeah.
type of thing. All right, anything else?
Nope.
Director?
Two things, CHD called me last month and they have some extra funding for environmental health, let's just call it. I think that's what her title is. So environmental health can encompass state funding that passes through to CHD. And they have, it's for climate resiliency, really, projects. So our master plan identifies a few things, including shade canopies and a splash pad and other things that are related to climate resiliency. And then trees, of course. So for this group, they approved funding for 40 more mature than normal, like 15-gallon trees.
Oh,
What they're gonna buy.
Who's gonna plant those?
Well,
we need a forklift. to-
Yeah.
so
Oh, wait.
yeah, we did that last year. It was an adventure, big trees out on the end. But also with that comes funding to pay people to come and plant them.
Yay.
Oh, nice.
CHD staff will get paid to come plant them.
Alright.
So they may or may not do that during our fall tree planting, depending on the sourcing, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably. But the goal is to get more mature trees that are kind of more instant shade, right?
Boy, just delivering those.
I know.
I mean, you gotta,
They're massive.
because they
Well-
could be.
Yeah.
And
They-
the trick
they don't
now
grow.
is, I mean,
They don't grow for a while.
we'll be able to get
Yeah, just
the deciduous trees 15-gallon, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble sourcing the big
Yeah.
ponderosa pine. The folks that I worked with before, their grower is no longer doing it. And I ran into a couple hurdles, so we may be looking the trees, instead of 5 to 6 feet, they're gonna be 2 to 3 feet.
Tall?
Yeah.
But if they're pine, they'll go.
They'll
Once
grow.
they get
Yeah.
Oh
established,
yeah, they'll
they'll
grow
grow
fast.
fast.
But you're not gonna get that
Instant.
instant
Yeah.
impact.
Do
Instant
you work? Can you work
gratification.
it all with PlantWorks?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's who got us the trees last year.
Okay.
But
Cool.
again, theirs are in.
They're not big right now, huh? Okay.
They're not.
Sometimes they have big ones.
So this is like $7,000 worth
Yeah.
of
That's awesome.
trees.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
Where will they go? Like what's?
At the end of the greenway, probably,
Oh, okay.
where that loop is, that's where we have the space and it's
Oh, yeah.
exposed.
Yeah.
It's really exposed. So
Yeah.
So you don't want
as
them on
people are
the.
walking.
You don't want them on the Riddle Road, in front of the.
That's a different pot
It's a
of money.
different part.
Oh,
of
okay.
it. It's already funded.
Okay. It's already funded, so okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could put a nice small forest with 40 trees down at the end of that
No, it's-
walkway.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
awesome.
It's really cool.
It's a lot of space though. It's
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is a lot
in
of
a way,
space.
it seems like a lot, but in a way, it's like. Is that
Well,
gonna
you
put
know,
a dent?
And that
Yeah.
was one of the things that I flew by Stu, as I don't know if you guys have been reading about tiny forests at all.
No.
So it's this movement, it started in Europe, where you have a very small space, like maybe an intersection or whatever, and it's just planted super dense with native trees.
Wow.
And so the idea is that they establish and they shade out any weeds so that eventually there's no maintenance. But it's a mix. It's a mix of trees and shrubs and perennials. And yeah, so look up tiny forest.
Yeah.
I guess I could have done that for my tree care
Yeah,
information
there's a
thing.
lot of
Next one.
But-
education.
But
for
yeah,
them.
and I had
That's
thought
cool.
about, well, maybe that would be something that we could do at our field day with the kids, is just plant this tiny forest somewhere out
Yeah.
at the
Idea.
end of the
Yeah.
greenway. So, you know, that might be an option too. Again, transporting them to that spot
Right.
is the tricky spot.
All right, I don't want to get too far off. You had two things. The second one
more
was.
is,
Oh, sorry, Stu.
It's fine. The other one is so I'm a board member, volunteer with something called Oregon Parks Forever. It's a nonprofit group, statewide nonprofit group. They're doing a program called Run for the Trees, and it's basically a fundraiser campaign to plant trees in Oregon. So it has a Bob Ross theme. So it's happy little trees,
Yeah, yeah.
like the Bob Ross theme.
Yeah, he does.
So I'll send that out to you
Yeah.
guys. If you can register, you can share it. They give you swag when you register, like a T-shirt and some other fun stuff. And then each registration plan, so they have a partnership with some source, to plant trees. So it's a cool program. I think the Oregon Community Trees. It's on their website. It's around, but
Would they be,
Yeah.
would the trees be planted in the grand?
Not really, it's just in Oregon,
Oregon
Right.
Parks, wasn't it? I think. Is it
No,
in
not
Oregon?
necessarily,
Not necessarily.
but-
Okay.
in Oregon, and
What was the name of that organization again?
Oregon
Oregon
Parks
Parks
Forever.
Forever,
Okay.
yeah, is the name of the it's kind of a
trees.
Yeah.
statewide
And I
nonprofit group.
can
Cool.
repost that on Facebook. It's been a while since I.
Yeah, but that deadline is coming up in probably around Arbor Day-ish, so, or maybe a little before, but I'll send that out to you guys if you wanna share it on your feeds or on your whatever, that'd be cool. We're trying to, plant over 1,000 trees and
Mhm.
all that jazz. It's cool, it's a good cause.
Yeah.
I thought you guys would be interested in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll actually put it up on the screen while Teresa's doing her tree care education.
So I was just gonna share these books with you guys at our OCT conference last year. This gal was our keynote speaker. It's a quick read. There are some local references for folks in Oregon. And basically, the whole premise is integrating technology and trees. And so I just thought you might be interested in them. If you get done with them, pass them along to somebody else who you think might like them, or you don't have to give one to the library because I already did. But if you want to give one to a different library, or pass it on to somebody else who might enjoy the book, she was a good speaker. She had a great presentation.
This woman?
Yeah, Nadia. What's her?
Gall?
Gall.
Yeah.
Gal.
Or Nadina. I'm sorry, it's Nadina.
Nadina.
But
Cool.
yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, you're welcome. We
thanks.
sold, so ODF purchased a bunch of these books and donated them to OCT. We sold them at the conference and we're gonna sell them at the next conference. But we also at the board meeting decided, we've got several of them left, and so we're giving them to folks, like you
To
guys
spread
that
'em
sit
out.
on a commission
Yep.
or library or,
Do you have more in case Tony? Okay.
yep, I do.
I'm gonna back us up. We had pending business, just tree removal funding. Has anything been done on that?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a placeholder.
Yeah, okay.
Make sure
Yeah,
you
and
don't forget about it.
that's more coming up with some policy, and
Okay.
yeah, we haven't done that yet.
Okay. Anything else on tree education? I love the book.
Nope. Thanks.
I'm
Yeah,
stoked
that's
to
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
stick it in my pile and get to it eventually.
Right, I know.
Here's the run for the trees, that's what it is. So it's a virtual 5K, and you just kind of do it at your own pace, and then it looks like registration closes April 1st. 10 trees for every participant will be planted, so there you go.
And how much is it still?
$36,
$36.
And you get swag.
and you get all that stuff. And
Happy little 5.
Well, if I still ran, I'd do it.
How is your gout today?
You know what? I'm not so sure it was gout,
Oh,
cause.
You mean ever?
oh,
No,
I guess
and
we're
my
still
knees.
on-
This is last
you're
week.
still streaming.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay, let's wrap things up and then we'll have it. Volunteer hours,
That's
you
pretty
need
funny.
some report on how much time we put in.
And I recorded the meeting hours.
Yeah, that's
You
fine, and half hour, 45 minutes beforehand to read
Correct.
through stuff, so. Anything else?